Welcome friends. Today we will discuss about diffusion. In our previous video we have discussed physical properties of water and importance of water to the plants. Now we would go ahead with the plant water relations and some phenomenon of the plants like diffusion, osmosis, imbibition. They depend on water. Now the diffusion is not restricted to water only, it may happen in gases and solids also. Prior to that, what is diffusion? How can we define diffusion? So here I have written the definition. Diffusion is the transfer of molecules from their higher concentration to lower concentration. This distribution or this movement of the molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration is done up to attaining the even distribution of the molecules. This generally happens about the solute. Now solute and solvent together form the solution. If we add sugar into the water, then sugar is the solute, water is the solvent, and what we get is the sugar solution. It is called as solution. Or if we add NaCl, salt, to the water, then we get the salt solution. Water is the solvent here. So diffusion is the term which is related with the solute, because later on when we would discuss about osmosis, we would come to know that in osmosis generally the solvent passes. It is the transfer of solvent in osmosis, but in diffusion it is the transfer of solute. So this solute, molecules of this solute, they pass or they transfer from their higher concentration, from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. This passage is the diffusion, and it is continued. Diffusion is continuous till the molecules are evenly distributed. Molecules of that solute are evenly distributed in the available space. They are distributed in the available space. Now the figure, simple explanation. Suppose here in this space, whatever it may be, in this space, suppose one solute is present here in more concentration, and these are the air molecules. Then these solute molecules, they move in all directions from this place. They move in all directions in this space and they get evenly distributed. While this solute is diffusing, at the same time the air molecules are also diffusing, because when the solute is having more concentration here in this region, the solute particles are concentrated here, they are more in number there. It means that the air molecules are less there, and therefore when the solute molecules move from this place, the air molecules enter there. So air also gets distributed, air molecules also get distributed evenly. Suppose this is water, and if you add some, suppose this is a drop of ink, then what happens when we add a drop of ink? The place where the ink drop is present, at that place the concentration of the ink molecules, ink particles, they are high concentration, and they disperse, move in all directions in the water that we have added, and then the whole water becomes blue colored. If the ink is blue colored, the whole water becomes blue colored. It means that the ink particles are distributed evenly throughout the water. At the same time, when the ink drop is added here, then the water molecules, they are less in this area where the ink drop is present. So water molecules also move here. The ink molecules move away, water molecules come there, and they are evenly distributed. Now this distribution is not dependent on one another. The even distribution, suppose these blue dots, they are the ink dots, they are not dependent on the molecules of the water. They get distributed evenly with themselves, and the water molecules get distributed evenly with themselves. Water molecule to water molecule ratio, ink molecule to ink molecule ratio. So this is isolated distribution. They distribute and they are not dependent on the one another. Their distribution is not dependent on one another. Now this diffusion is a phenomenon. Unlike osmosis, osmosis always needs water or solvent. Unlike osmosis, diffusion doesn't need any solvent. This diffusion takes place in gases, in liquids, and in solids also. In gases, we have a lot of examples. When we burn a agarbatti at one place, or dhoop, then we see the particles of that dhoop. We can smell dhoop. If it is burnt in the corner, we can smell here also after some time. So they get evenly distributed in this room or in whatever the space available for them. If you lit the agarbatti, even the neighboring house, persons in the neighboring house, they will also say, wow, it's a good agarbatti, because the smell goes to their house also. This is diffusion. The agarbatti particles, they distribute evenly in the available space. The diffusion is continuous up to the even distribution of the particles. When we bring flowers to worship our God or to tie them in the hairs as gajra, the smell goes everywhere around us. That is due to the diffusion. So many places are there, so many things are there which diffuse regularly. Whenever we say it's a bad smell in the air, something has died, some animal has died and we are smelling, this is due to the diffusion. So many examples are around us, particularly the incidences related with the odor, smell, they are mostly due to the diffusion. Diffusion is very important. We would talk about importance later on. So in this way, diffusion is the process in which the particles or the solute molecules moves from the place of their higher concentration to the place of their lower concentration, and this is continuous until they get evenly distributed. The particles or the molecules get evenly distributed. Now how this happens? This happens due to the kinetic energy. You might be knowing that all the molecules in a gas or in a liquid, they are always constantly in motion. They collide with each other and they run continuously. So if we take a glass of water and add something, all the water molecules and whatever we add it, they continuously move, and that is called as kinetic energy. So the diffusion is due to the kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy of the molecules are constantly in motion and they are said to be in kinetic energy. Due to the kinetic energy, they are constantly running. All molecules in any gas, in any air, the molecules are constantly running, and while running they show kinetic energy. Now due to this kinetic energy, a pressure is created and in the molecules, and that pressure is known as diffusion pressure, dP. Diffusion pressure. Diffusion pressure is the pressure created due to the kinetic energy of the molecules. Anything that has molecules, it has kinetic energy in the molecules, and due to that kinetic energy the molecules show diffusion pressure. Now the diffusion pressure is responsible for diffusion. Why diffusion is occurring? Why when we lit agarbatti, the smell spreads in the room? Due to the diffusion pressure. When we lit agarbatti or dhub, then the particles which are released, volatile particles which are released in the air, they are having kinetic energy. That energy creates diffusion pressure in the particles, and that's why they move from one another. Due to the diffusion pressure, they move from one another. So diffusion is the result of diffusion pressure. Initially there is diffusion pressure, and then due to this diffusion pressure, diffusion occurs. Diffusion pressure remains in the solutions even after there is no diffusion. For example, this, come here. Now in this pot or whatever it is, chamber, all the particles are evenly distributed, but even then there is no diffusion. Now they have been evenly distributed, so diffusion is ended. Even then, when diffusion is not present there, diffusion pressure is present there, because all these molecules are continuously running and they are in motion, and this motion is creating kinetic energy in them, and due to the kinetic energy, diffusion pressure exists. So in the air around us and in any type of solution, any type of solvent also, pure solvent also, if it is distilled water, it is a pure solvent, even then it has water molecules, and when there are molecules, there is diffusion pressure. Diffusion may not be present, but diffusion pressure is definitely present. So diffusion pressure is the result of kinetic energy of the molecules, and diffusion pressure results in the diffusion. Whether there is diffusion in any solution or in any air, but it may exist or not diffusion, but diffusion pressure definitely exists everywhere. Now coming to the DPD, diffusion pressure deficit. Before that, come here, solute, solvent, solution. I told you, when solute is added in the solvent, it becomes solution. Now this solvent, when it is pure, when it is not added with the solute, before becoming the solution, this pure solvent has more diffusion pressure. Diffusion pressure of a pure solvent is more than its solution. This solution is having, now the solute is added in the solvent and it becomes solution. In this solution, something is added, solute is added, and its diffusion pressure is less than the pure solvent. Suppose it is sugar solution, sugar added in the water, sugar is the solute, water is the solvent, and it becomes a sugar solution. So the diffusion pressure of this sugar solution is less than pure water. Diffusion pressure of pure water is more than any solution prepared from that water, any solution. When the solvent becomes a solution by addition of the solute, then its diffusion pressure is decreased. Pure water is having more diffusion pressure and its solution is having less diffusion pressure, and this difference of the diffusion pressure in the molecules of solvent and diffusion pressure in the molecules of solution. What is it? Again, I would repeat, difference between the diffusion pressure dP of the solvent molecules and dP of the solution molecules. Diffusion pressure of the solvent molecules and diffusion pressure of the solution molecules in the solution, they are different, and this difference in the dP of solvent and dP of solution is known as diffusion pressure deficit. Whatever difference is there, it is known as diffusion pressure deficit. Remember, diffusion pressure deficit is the difference between the diffusion pressure of the solute and diffusion pressure of the solution. Diffusion pressure of the solute is higher than diffusion pressure of the solvent, and the difference between these two is known as diffusion pressure deficit. So diffusion pressure deficit. Now coming to the importance. So come to the importance of diffusion in plants. Importance of diffusion in the plants. Because diffusion is important everywhere, but let's discuss it with the plants. It is important to us also because we know whatever exchange of gases is taking place in our lungs. When we inhale the air, oxygen is lot in quantity in the air in the lungs, and the oxygen in the blood capillaries is less in concentration. So oxygen moves from higher concentration to lower concentration in the alveoli. This is taking place in the alveoli of our lungs. What is taking place? Higher concentration of oxygen which is present in our inhaled air, and lower concentration of oxygen is present in the blood capillaries in the alveoli in the lungs. So naturally the oxygen from the inhaled air, it diffuses into the blood capillaries. Similarly, the carbon dioxide is more, it is carboxylated blood. Carbon dioxide is more in the blood which is coming to our lungs from our whole body. We call it as carboxylated blood, deoxygenated blood. So that blood contains high amount of CO2. Comparatively, the oxygen CO2 concentration in our inhaled air is less. So CO2 diffuses out of the capillaries and then we exhale it in the air. Simple procedure, diffusion, but our life is governed by that process. Inhaling O2 and CO2 exchange. Same thing happens at the cellular level. When the CO2 is removed and O2 is added in our blood, that oxygenated blood is coming to the heart, and from the heart it is distributed throughout the body, and in the body at each and every cell level, cellular level, that oxygen, now the blood is containing more amount of oxygen and cell is containing less amount of oxygen. So higher concentration of the oxygen molecules in the blood capillaries, the oxygen diffuses out and it goes into the cell. The cell is running a respiration, and in the respiration CO2 is produced. So high amount of CO2 is present in the cell, low amount of CO2 is present in the deoxygenated blood, in the pure blood. So the CO2 oozes out of the cells due to the diffusion and it enters into the circulatory system or into the blood. The CO2 is collected in this way, O2 is supplied in this way to the whole body cells. Each and every body cell of our body needs a respiration, needs energy, and for that it needs O2 and it needs to clean out or ooze out CO2, because continuous aggregation of the CO2 is dangerous and it needs to be removed from the cells, and both the gases are exchanged either in lungs or in our cells, each and every cell, that is by means of diffusion. So diffusion is very important. This happens about the food particles. Food particles are more amount in our alimentary canal than the blood capillaries. So when we digest our food, it is assimilated into the blood capillaries in our small intestine. What does it mean? The food particles diffuse out into the, remember, most of our body activities or exchanges, transportations, they are conducted without energy. Diffusion and osmosis, these are the processes which are very regularly taking in our body because they don't need any energy. We don't apply energy for diffusion, we don't apply energy for osmosis, and therefore they are very vital things, and majority of the exchange or the transport of the materials is taking place in our body by osmosis and diffusion. Active transport is another method, or sodium potassium pump is another method, but that is for limited things. Most of the things are diffused out, or they are done by osmotic potential or osmosis. So in this way, the diffusion and osmosis is important for us. In the same way, it is important for the plants for O2 and CO2 exchange in the stomata. In the stomata, when continuous photosynthesis takes place, the CO2 is concentrated in the cells, and this CO2 is oozed out from the stomata by diffusion method. It also takes O2 in the same, in the environmental condition, in the air oxygen concentration is more than the leaf cells, and the oxygen enters into the stomata. The O2 and CO2 exchange in stomata is taking place by diffusion. O2 and CO2 exchange in photosynthesis. Suppose it is a chloroplast. Now how the CO2 goes into the chloroplast? It is needed there because photosynthesis is run by CO2 plus H2O, and it produces C6H12O6 and O2. So O2 is needed for photosynthesis, and inside the cell whatever CO2 is needed for photosynthesis, and whatever CO2 is present in the cell, it is utilized for photosynthesis. So the cell is not having CO2, and CO2 is present outside the cell, that is coming from the stomata, and in this way the CO2 which is present around the chloroplast, it enters into the chloroplast because higher concentration is present around the cell. Now when the CO2 and H2O are utilized, photosynthesis is run, glucose is produced. After production of the glucose, O2 is the byproduct. Now this O2 concentration inside the cell is more, so this O2 oozes out, diffuses out of the chloroplast. It comes in the intercellular spaces, and then through the stomata it is going out. So in this way the O2 and CO2, they are exchanged in the chloroplast at the time of photosynthesis. Same thing happens at the time of respiration, just like human beings, I have told just now. What happens in respiration is similar in plants and animals. So what happens at the time of respiration? The cells need O2. Inside them they break down the glucose molecule C6H12O6 and produces the H2O and CO2 byproduct. So the CO2 is more inside the cell due to the respiration. When a respiration is active, the CO2 concentration is higher. Now this CO2 oozes out of the cells due to the high concentration. It diffuses out, and when oxygen is surrounding in the cells, it is higher in concentration, it diffuses inside the cell, because whatever oxygen already present in cell, it is utilized for respiration. So outside it is having more oxygen, inside it is having less oxygen. Higher concentration to lower concentration, movement of the oxygen takes place, and this is diffusion. So oxygen diffuses inside the cell at the time of respiration, CO2 diffuses outside the cell at the time of respiration, and in this way the photosynthesis and respiration, both the processes, they are dependent on diffusion for gaseous exchange. We call it as gaseous exchange. Transport of materials in the plant body. Now whatever materials are produced in the plant body, they need to be transported from cell to cell. Chloroplasts are present in the leaf cell. When food is synthesized in the chloroplast, it needs to be hand over to the phloem, because phloem is the tissue which would conduct that food to other plant parts. So the cell to cell transfer is necessary, cell to cell transfer or transport of the materials, and these materials, they diffuse out from one cell to another cell. From one leaf cell to another cell, they diffuses, and in this way they passes from one cell to another cell. In the same way they passes from one cell to another cell in the phloem also. Remember, phloem is a living tissue. The cells are living in the phloem, and they conduct They transport the materials by cell to cell placement theory, and that is dependent on the diffusion process, higher concentration to lower concentration. Food is synthesized in one cell, it is having high concentration of food molecules, they are diffused to the another cell with a low concentration of food molecules. Same happens repeatedly, and the material is transported from one place to another place. It is transported in all plant parts also. Coming to the next important, it is the opening or closing of the stomata. It is also dependent. The pressure is increased and decreased. I would not talk here because a separate topic on opening and closing stomata is going to be discussed. So this opening and closing of the stomata is vital. It is important because it decides the percentage of water inside the plant body, and that's why it is important. So it is also dependent on the diffusion. Mineral nutrition and uptake. Now we know whatever is taken by the roots from the soil, it is absorbed, and this absorption is not a mechanical pressure. We don't have a electricity supply and a button, we put on button and the material is coming like that. No, that is not happening here. It is just the diffusion pressure. Suppose potassium, soluble potassium is high around the roots, then naturally it diffuses inside the root cells and from root cells to the xylem, and the xylem with water and these minerals takes it to the leaf. So this is known as ascent of sap. So this absorption of the water and minerals is taking place, minerals specially, it is taking place by the process of diffusion. Water, it is taken by osmosis. Movement of the solvent is known as osmosis. Movement of the solute is known as diffusion. So in this way there are so many things, so many processes which are dependent on the diffusion. The absorption from the roots is also dependent on the diffusion. Diffusion is the process, and that's why the living beings have utilized this process. Just I told you, in case of the human beings also, the gaseous exchange and exchange of the food materials, just like the plants, it is dependent on this diffusion. Diffusion is an energy less process. Yes, diffusion pressure is there, diffusion pressure gradient there, but that is among the molecules. We are not giving energy. The organism is not giving taking special efforts for diffusion. If there is higher concentration of oxygen outside, naturally it diffuses inside the cell and we get that oxygen easily. So it is so easy and energy less transfer of materials, and therefore diffusion is one of the vital important physical phenomenon with the living organisms. Later on we would discuss about osmosis, that is also equally important. That also doesn't need energy. Only the thing is that osmosis is having a barrier in between. It is the transfer between two things when there is barrier and the solvent passes from one place to another place along a gradient of the semi-permeable membrane generally. So solute is not allowed there, only solvent passes from concentration of low concentration to high concentration, low concentration of solute to high concentration of solute, the solvent passes. So that is osmosis. We will discuss it in next video. I think it is sufficient for today. Thank you very much.